Hello friends, you're watching India Today Tech, and in this video I'm going to unbox the Vivo V9. As you can see, this is a smartphone that comes with a notch like the iPhone 10 and many other Android smartphones like the Asus Zenfone 5. Now before you set up the phone, let's take a look at the detailed specs of the Vivo V9. The Vivo V9 comes with a 6.3-inch display that has a 1080p or Full HD Plus resolution. It is powered by a Snapdragon 626 chipset with 64 GB of onboard storage and 4 GB of RAM. The storage is expandable via microSD card. At the back, the phone has dual cameras with 16 megapixel and 5 megapixel sensors. The rear camera can do 4K recording as well. At front, the phone has a 24 megapixel camera with an f2.0 aperture, and it can record Full HD videos. The phone runs FunTouch UI, but it's based on Android 8.1 Oreo. The price will flash on your screen because it's not written here, and the phone has not been announced yet while we are unboxing it. Okay, let's unbox the phone. And first up, we have a case that has the SIM ejector tool, and let me take this out. A quick start guide and warranty information and other information about the phone. Some EMI stickers, and there is a clear case as well bundled with the device. We snapped on the case on the phone, but let's first take a look at the device. This is gold color Vivo V9 and looks very similar to the V7, especially when we are considering the antenna lines at the back. It carries forward the same design. It's a metal unibody frame. It's probably aluminum. We'll have to check for that. And there's the fingerprint scanner at the back, a dual camera, also made in the iPhone style, but thankfully the flash is placed below it. Then we have the design by Vivo thing at the bottom, nothing else. It's plain and simple from the back. Looks quite neat. Let's turn it on, and unless the screen is on, we'll not be able to see the notch. But then again, let's take a look at the other contents of the box. Here is the travel adapter that comes with 2 amperes of power output, but we won't be able to charge the phone very quickly because the phone does not support fast charging, and it has a microSD port. So here is the microSD cable paired with it, and then there is the earphones, and as you will notice, they are also very similar to that of the Apple earphones. In fact, they look exactly the same, just that there are buttons on the remote. There is no volume control, and there is a mic, so you can use it as hands-free. Okay, now let's take a look at the phone itself. It's quite thin and quite light for a 6-inch device, and the notch is quite prominent at the top. We had covered this in detail, how many of the upcoming Android smartphones will be sporting a notch. Notch on Vivo V9 houses the camera and the earpiece. The bezel at the bottom is also quite thin, but it's not as thin as the iPhone 10, of course, and the side bezels, as you would notice, are also very similar to the iPhone 10. If you take a look at the ports at the bottom, it's a micro USB port, which means that the phone will not support fast charging. There is a speaker grill on its right. Also, a 3.5mm headphone jack is placed far left. It's strange how phone companies are adopting new technologies like this, but they are not putting stuff that is actually required many a times, like fast charging or Type-C USB port, which I would really like to have. Anyways, now let's take a look at the SIM slots on the phone. So you get a dedicated microSD card slot alongside 2 SIM slots on the Vivo V9. So you can expand the storage and put 2 SIM cards on it, as in great contrast to the Apple phones that don't even give you an option to put 2 SIM cards. Now, as you can see, the phone does look stunning with a great screen to body ratio thanks to the notch design, but it also looks very familiar, very similar to the iPhone 10. If you compare it to phones that don't use a notch like the Redmi Note 5 or the Note 5 Pro, you'll see that the screen to body ratio is slightly better on these phones. But anyways, let's continue with the Vivo V9. Since the FunTouch UI is very similar to the Apple's iOS, we'll see that a lot of elements look familiar. For example, all the toggles are put on the menu that you swipe from the bottom, and the notifications go at the top. There's also a search bar, and then there is the fact that all the apps are present on the home screen. There is no app drawer. The settings menu also looks very similar, very familiar, and the kind of icons the phone uses are also very similar. Now let's talk about the unlocking features on the phone. Apart from fingerprint scanning, you also get face unlock feature on this, and let's quickly check the speed on both of these unlocking features. The fingerprint scanning on the phone is quite fast. It literally opens the phone in blink of an eye, but that is subject to the finding of the fingerprint scanner. What I mean is that there are very little contours at the back, and as you will see, the fingerprint scanner lays flush with the back surface, so it's quite difficult to locate the fingerprint scanner when you're using the phone, and this may take a little getting used to, but otherwise the fingerprint scanner works quite fast on the device. Now the face unlock on this phone uses the front camera, and it's not like the iPhone 10, though it may have a notch. There are no IR sensors to recognize the face. Okay, so let's see how fast it works. So now let's try and unlock the phone using face recognition. So at first it says the face does not match. Let's try it one more time. So this time it worked. So when it works quite fast, but there are many instances when it won't work at all. So that is something that Vivo may need to look into, because the thing with face recognition is that it gets quite annoying when the phone would not work many of the times, and also in low light as well we need to check, because facial recognition is dependent on the amount of light or the kind of light you get in your environment. Like the iPhone 10 or the Asus Zenfone, Vivo has utilized the areas beside the notch to put icons. So the Wi-Fi and battery icon and even the network icon will appear here on the right, while the icons related to notifications and time appears on the left. Another thing is that the recent apps menu is also very similar to the iPhone, but I'll show you how you'll be able to use split screen on the Vivo V9. It's quite a weird way to do it. You'll have to swipe using 3 fingers on the app that supports split screen, and then you'll be able to use it. Now there are a lot of preloaded apps, as you can see on the device as well. We'll be able to tell you in our full review only, and to watch it as soon as we upload it, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Now let's take a look at the camera quality on the device. At the rear it has a dual camera, and first of all let's check the autofocus. It has face detection autofocus, so it's quite fast, and you will see that the HDR switching is also very fast, but we're yet to see it in low light conditions as well right now. And let's click some photos and see how's the sharpness and the quality. The sharpness and color reproduction on the camera is quite nice. You'll see that the blacks are captured beautifully, but there is a slight change in the color of the hair, which means that it's slightly over processing the photo, but you'll see that the details are quite nice and the phone captures very sharp outlines. Let's also try and use the bokeh mode or the portrait mode, since the phone has 5 megapixel secondary camera as well. That is, since the phone has a dual camera setup, it will probably be using, so this is not the portrait mode, this is the live photo, which is again kind of confusing as the software looks very similar to Apple's iPhone, and this is bound to create some kind of confusion. Let's take a look at the bokeh shot. You can also change the amount of background blur you see in your photos after clicking the shot. So let's save it at 5.6, or let's take it down to 2.0. The subject is recognized quite nicely, but we will be testing it on people as well, since that is where the mode is meant to be used. But in general use case, I see that it delivers quite nice bokeh shots as well. I'll put in some other camera samples as well for your reference. The app again is very similar to that of the iPhone. You can swipe to change camera modes, and there are the options at the top that allows you to switch to live photo, bokeh or portrait mode, HDR, and also apply filters or change shooting modes as well. Next, there are AR stickers on the device as well, and let's see if they work for the front camera. So yes, they are working on the front camera, and let me change the position of the phone and see if they work or not. So yes, most of the stickers are working just fine. So there are a lot of stickers you can try on this phone, but let's now check the quality of the front camera. It has a 24 megapixel sensor. So Vivo and Oppo phones are all about the front camera, and the shutter is quite fast. Let's take a look at the details captured by the phone. So they are nice, although I see a hint of noise and graininess in my face, but it's not that much. Now as you can see, all the modes that were available for the rear camera are also available for the front camera. That is the HDR, the portrait mode, the live photo mode, and the flash as well. You will see that it's just a display flash and not an LED flash given on the phone. Also, the bokeh mode on the phone is software based, it's not hardware based like the rear camera, but I see it does capture good background blur. I'll also put in some selfies for your reference. The display reproduces quite sharp colors, as you can see, but I'm not able to fit the YouTube app to the screen fully, so there's kind of no point having a notch design. But then again, if you're playing back the video in the video player, you'll be able to fully utilize the display on the device. But although we have seen on most phones nowadays that you can stretch the YouTube video to fill the screen, but this is not the case with the Vivo V9. It appears to be quite a stunning device. Of course, the front camera is much better than the rear camera, but apart from that, the phone is very thin and light. It has a very ergonomic form factor and comes with quite a stunning display at front, despite the fact that it has a notch that many people would not like. If you have anything to ask about the Vivo V9, let us know in the comment section below. And if you've liked this video, hit the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. Again, subscribe to our channel to get latest videos on technology like this. Thank you for watching.